Greetings! Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the video. So every house has a story. This will be the first video in a series of videos telling the story of this house. This is the first house I purchased, and that was back in 1998. Very typical, traditional brick ranch house. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, roughly 1,500 square feet with a 2-car side entry garage. Traditional layout inside, dark cabinets, dark window trim. Unfortunately, ugly wallpaper, ugly linoleum, and ugly carpet, which was also not uncommon for that time. You come in through the laundry room / mudroom, into the dining room, looking into the kitchen with the living room off to the left-hand side. And then this is a view from the kitchen back towards the dining room and laundry room. And then of the living room again. Apologies for the low quality photos, but this was prior to everyone having a camera phone. But ultimately this should give you a general good layout for the home. Anyway, after living in the home for quite a while, I decided that it was time to remodel. So we decided to take out some walls, replace the cabinets, add some tile, change out the flooring, really open up the property. So it made it for a much better floor plan / layout for a little bit more current lifestyle as far as comfort. This is from the kitchen looking into the living room. We had some extra cabinets, so they got put into the laundry room to make it more functional as well. I also decided to purchase another home and turn this house into a rental property. So it was a rental property for roughly 12 or 13 years. Thankfully, this was a very successful rental property, a series of good tenants through the years, and I would say they all hopefully enjoyed their time living in the home as well, especially after the remodel, as far as making it a more functional floor plan for lots of different folks, which is always good. You want to appeal to most people as you can for a rental property. Also, some work was done in the backyard regarding an expanded deck. You can also get a better view of the back of the house. The deck has the stairs cascading over, which I thought was a better footprint than the railing all around, which kind of kept it a little bit more condensed, I suppose. It's accurate to say that when you're building a deck, it really helps when you think things through and make sure your lines are straight and you pay attention to some details there, even with the stone wrapping around the deck for some landscape appeal. So this just gives you also just a general view of the backyard, which we'll show in subsequent videos because the fun starts right about What a mess. So I get a phone call on a Monday morning regarding a house fire that happened on a Saturday evening. Mind you, I did not get a phone call from the tenants of this property. I got a phone call from a fire restoration company looking to see if they could help. The guy from the fire restoration company told me that all he knew is that it was a garage fire. Phone calls to the tenant went unanswered, and to the person you're trying to reach is unavailable rather than a voicemail. So I drove over to the property, which was about 20 minutes away, and lucky me, this is what I found. As I was only informed that it was a garage fire, I was really hoping that any damage would have been contained to the garage itself. But unfortunately, this is what was waiting for me. I sincerely hope no one ever has to go through this, and if you have, you know how awful of a feeling it is to come up on something like this. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and everybody was able to get out unscathed. Obviously, contents of the home were completely destroyed. I don't think there was anything salvageable as far as any personal belongings of the tenants. Very sorry to hear that for them. They unfortunately did not have renter's insurance, even though renter's insurance is very inexpensive and also stipulated to be kept by a tenant during the duration of the lease and or occupancy of the home. As the fire essentially originated in the garage, the bulk of the heat was contained in the garage, and everything in there was essentially incinerated. The fire did obviously go through the house itself, the living areas. The insurance adjusters, who were very nice and very helpful, especially in a very stressful situation, ultimately determined that the house was a total loss. There's a view from the kitchen. Tenants had cats that were apparently doing some damage to the property. Very disappointing. As well as this was a non-smoking residence, so that was annoying to see as well. What you see there is actually called a heat line, which is an interesting phenomenon with a fire, and also the reason you want to crawl when there is a house fire. Crawl yourself out of the door. Another view of the living room with all the just junk left over from the ceiling caving in. A view down the hall, looking at the light fixtures getting burned out due to the heat in the attic. Another view of the fireplace, which is just covered in soot. This was the master bathroom, which was remodeled when I still lived there. So you can see the general mess that we're dealing with, and I will upload subsequent videos of the cleanup and rebuild of this house. So thanks for tuning in, and keep an eye out for the next video.